Hey, quick update. I'm still staying out. I haven't gotten in yet. I'll show you why in 2 seconds. But did any of you guys make a nice profit? What did I say? As soon as we break this white trend line support, we're going to dump to the bottom of the cloud. Did I not say that on my last update? It's exactly how it played out. Now, if I had gotten into that short, unfortunately, like I told you guys, I'm waiting because if we bounce above this trend line resistance, the yellow line right here, let me zoom in. I said if we bounce above this trend line resistance, I'm going to buy in big long. And if we fall below this trend line support, we'll make a big dump. I told you on this candle that either this candle or the next candle or the one after that, under the next 1 to 3 candles, we were going to get a big move up or a big move down. And it all depends on if we break the yellow resistance or the white support. You can't deny like how insane our models are, right? Like that level of precision is really incredible. Now, I didn't get into the short. I said I was going to go long or short, but I fell asleep. The whole thing was my last video update last night. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to try to stay up for a couple more hours because I think we're going to see this decision really soon and then I can make a lot of money. Well, unfortunately, I missed out. But I gave you a very detailed analysis. It played out exactly as I predicted. So I'm hopeful. I know a bunch of guys in the group made a nice profit because of that analysis. I don't know if people on YouTube who aren't members of the private group, I don't know if they had gotten into any trades and made some bank, but the analysis was flawless. So hopefully you guys did well. At this point, right, we did finally get the bounce. Now, remember I talked about how my model was loosening up because we had this sideways action on the hourly Stoch, and we just were not bouncing when we were supposed to. Now we're bouncing right on the Ichima dynamic support. There's a really good chance we go back to the top of the cloud. So if that happens, we should go up another 5%. I was thinking about doing a long here, maybe a leverage long, small amount of capital, but if I do 10x or 20x, I can make a really nice profit on a 5% move. However, the hourly Stoch got really high, really fast. In the course of just 2 candles, it went from nothing all the way to the top. And that's how it usually happens after you have a scenario like this, where it just goes sideways for a bit. You get a rapid move on the Stoch. So it's really hard to read now. We might come down and test the bottom of the cloud again before we push up to the top, or we might just push up to the top here. So if I were to get in, I buy right here and place my stop loss, 2.5% below my entry. It's possible we dip back to the bottom of the cloud and then a quick wick hits me. It might be possible we go a tiny bit further than the cloud like these candles did. It's unusual. Usually it stays within the cloud, but it's, not that crazy. If we were to get another bottom like that goes down to 35.3, 35.4, it would hit my stop loss and I'd get stopped out and take a loss. So I'd rather just stay out and kind of give it a few minutes and see how things play out. The hourly's resetting now, or at least starting to. If we continue upward, I miss out on the 5% pump. That's fine because overall my model works really well. And once it's dialed in again, I'll be able to predict tons of extremely precise reversals and trades. So I'm not in too much of a rush. Patience is one of the key things I could teach you guys. Obviously, you can't be emotional. And you have to be patient. So I'm going to wait a little bit longer on that. But overall, right, the fact that the 4-hour is still locked in, the 4-hour Stoch looks really good, right? So the fact that we're oversold here and starting to turn up is a really, really bullish sign. This suggests there's a very high probability that we're going to recover here. So I talked about getting a new low, but not a new big low. Like we're not going to go back below the prior bottom. This is still wave 1. Just instead of having... Originally, I was like this. I said, all right, this is wave 1. Wave 1 here. Goes to wave 2 here. And then this was wave 3 starting. Instead, it's actually more, this is wave 2. And then this is wave 3 starting. So it's a slightly different Elliott wave count. But we still have this A, B, C correction, right? And we had the initial wave 1, wave 2, and now we're potentially starting wave 3. So the reason I'm not in such a rush to get in is if I'm right, if this is the beginning of wave 3, we're going to see it move kind of like this. We would have a fib extension. I'll be right there. So I go from the bottom to the top of that run, drop the fib extension. Oops, let me try this again. Bottom of subwave 1 to the top of subwave 1 to the bottom of wave 2. And the 1618 extension all the way up here would be that target. So potentially the other wave 3 target that I had, I have to adjust this a bit, but overall potentially up to 52K. So that's actually some good confluence that confirms what my older analysis suggested. So it looks like that's potentially the case. Now the daily is getting high and starting to turn down, but that doesn't mean anything. There's still 9 hours left on this daily candle, so it's very easy for it to reverse and continue upward, sort of like what happened on this dip here where it started to dip and then it reversed and pushed up. We could probably see that again here. In fact, we won't even see a crossover if the 4-hour model does turn bullish like it looks like it's about to. So I'm going to wait for this hourly reset. If we start breaking out bullish and ignore the hourly model, I might just jump in. And I'm not going to dive into the other things now because I'm busy. I'm about to take the kids outside for a few minutes, but really quick, everything is pretty much the same. We have resets on all these other assets as well. If you're looking at the hourly, this also confirms what I was saying. If you look at the hourly, for instance, on Ethereum, there's a good chance we come back down and test the prior low. Could potentially drop to the bottom of the cloud, but I think it might not just because of how bullish the reversals could be if it holds. So we'll see how that plays out. I haven't really looked at the altcoins that much, but I'm staying out of everything short-term for now. I'm still holding my long-term trades, and I'm definitely going to be entering short-term trades later today once we get this hourly reset and start that 4-hour cycle up. If it continues along the path I anticipate, we should have an extremely profitable day, and we should get that really bullish 24-hour bull run across the market that I've been talking about for the last 36 hours. Stay tuned for updates.